I'm going to do a product review of some eyes and noses that I got for making bears from Amazon. When I ordered this product, I ordered it on Tuesday from Amazon Prime. It was from the Swpeet company, I assume out of China. 180 assorted plastic safety eyes and 10 noses. I paid $8.96 for it. It came today and arrived in a box with some other things that I ordered from Amazon, and it came in a nice little plastic container. Looks like one of your standard plastic containers that has little dividers that you can move around and make into whatever size you like, which I thought was pretty nice. The whole box was full, and I'll show you in a minute why it's empty now, but this little card came with it as well. They claim to have a 12-hour response if you have any questions or concerns about the product, which I thought was pretty sweet. Now, when I originally got the box, all of the items were kind of all smushed together in the box, and they were all mixed together. I couldn't tell which size was which. I knew there was going to be 6 different sizes: 5mm, 6mm, 8mm, 10mm, 12mm, and 14mm, and that there would be 10 noses. But it came with these little plastic eyes, as you can see here, and these little plastic washers which go on the inside of what you're making and hold the eye in place when you're all done. Now, there's 6 different sizes of washers, which of the little eyes, which I've laid out here, and maybe you can see a little bit better on the. I wound up putting them in this little foam core because, to be honest, I could not immediately tell from one eye to the next what was which size. The 2 tiny ones, the 5 and 6mm, looked almost exactly the same, and these ones that were 10 and 12mm looked almost exactly the same as well. And I've only been able to kind of determine that there appear to only be 3 sizes of washers, and what I've been doing is just kind of laying them out here one by one and size comparing them against each other to try to find which ones are the closest in size. I've been doing this for about an hour, and you know, some people really enjoy sorting things, and I enjoy that as well, except that I have some limited mobility in my hands, and so gripping these little tiny things have been a pain. I did grab one of my quilting needles, and that has helped with, you know, just picking them up and also kind of keeping them organized as I'm sorting them by size. So I was curious as to how many actual washers came with the kit. It does say assorted number, so there's 10 of these larger washers, 61 of these smaller medium-sized washers, and 123 of these tiny little washers. Okay, so we've finished counting. There are 40 14mm eyes, 28 12mm eyes, 26 10mm eyes, 30 8mm eyes, 34 6mm eyes, and 26 of these tiny 5mm eyes. Now, the thing about these that I find the most interesting is that there are some where the sharp pointy end of these eyes that you would push through the fabric or that you would push through your crocheted or knitted bear has actually broken off. And as you can see, there are some little sharp pointy end bits here. Now, I don't know if that makes any difference at all as to whether or not it will go through the fabric, But it definitely, if you have one of these that doesn't have a pointy end on it, is something that you would want to consider, because most of the other ones have a fairly good point. Test it here with this terry cloth. It doesn't seem to want to push through the terry cloth, but you could always just start it with a little hole, a tiny little hole that you cut, or a starter. So not having it have a super sharp point may not be that big of a deal. So they say on the website that this is a 180 piece set. If you don't count the washers that go on the back, if you just count up the number of eyes and noses that you're sent, in this particular kit, I was sent 194 pieces. That does also not include the little case. So I think they absolutely did meet what they were going to say that they were going to send as far as the number of pieces goes. One thing I did notice too is that there are no instructions. So I'm going to check and see if I can find instructions for how to use these anywhere. If you've ever used these kinds of eyes and noses before, go ahead and leave down in the comments section some instructions on how to use them. So one of the things that you have to think about when you have something like this is, how am I going to store it? Obviously, this little storage container that it came in, all the things could go back into, but they would not stay separated, they would not stay sorted, there would be no organization to it. It would drive me nuts. So what I'd like to use are these repurposed medicine bottles. I take a lot of medicines and have these bottles left over, and they're perfect for putting these little doodads and whatnot into and keeping them all organized. So that's what I'm going to do. I've already covered the outside with a cute little purple label. I will put another label on there to help me know what's in each one of these containers. So large bear noses here. And then I'll store all of these things together in a plastic tub and keep them all separated. So here we are, almost finished organizing. I have 10, 20, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so in each bottle I have the eyes and the backs, and I've got enough backs for all the eyes that I have in there, so that was good. And this is kind of what it looks like. So you've got 5 millimeters, 6 millimeters, 5 millimeters, 6 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 10 millimeters, 12 millimeters, and 14 millimeters. 10 noses and enough backs to at least match up to all of the different eyes that are sent. Now, the question I have is whether or not these smaller size backs will fit on the larger size eyes. And you know what? It does look like they will. Sorry about my fingers. I'm trying to give you a good shot, but it does look like those will work. So these medium size ones will fit the larger gauge of the eyes. And the smaller ones will also fit the larger size gauge of the 12 and 10 millimeter ones, but it will be tight. It will be a hard fit, but you want it to be that way because this is what holds the eye in place so that little people can't pull them out and swallow them. It does specifically say on the Amazon website that these are not for use with children under 3 because they are a choking hazard. But swpeet@outlook.com is the contact address for the company if you have any questions. I will post a link in the description box below for the place where you can order them. And then this is what it looks like when I'm all done putting them in the little bottles. So now that we have everything sorted and everything organized, I've put these little tubes into a plastic bin that I've put a label on and stacked up with my multiple whips in progress. If you're wondering what these bins are, they're actually shoe boxes from Walmart. They were on sale for 99 cents a piece. We got about 20 of them, and they are excellent for keeping bits of yarn in, works in progress, and for keeping supplies organized, especially when we were moving. Well, that's it. That concludes my video. I hope you like my product review. I hope you enjoy the content that I'm putting out. I'm trying to make things interesting. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to put them in the comments down below, or you can shoot me an email at kate@afaproject.org. If you're interested in learning more about the Afghans for Angel Project, visit us online at www.afaproject.org. If you have a charity that you support or something that is special to your heart, go ahead and shoot me an email or drop a comment in the section below. And if we have a project that we have already completed that would fit what you're looking for, we may just be sending a donation forward your way. Bye!